Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, everyone, zebras, gypsies, and the sheep. I have made this video like a million times, and each time I delete it. So let's see if I can get this going now. First, I want to say that my beautiful wife in the other room showed me video footage of a shark swimming down the road in Newbern, North Carolina. The guy who was driving the car was recording it. Okay, so as I've previously stated, some things have changed since the surgery. I'm going to be paying my bills back. Actually, I got a bill today. I'll be paying that back. But I already have a set of bills I'm going to be paying, including my uncle, paying my uncle back some money. But I've also decided, another thing I'm going to be doing is working on my spelling and my language skills. They're not great, but I'm going to be working on them. So I have some books that I'll be using, but I need my glasses first, and I need this thing off my neck. Number three, tres. Eins, zwei, drei. So, I've been thinking about languages. I'm not going to put myself out there and try to learn a million languages. I'm not a polyglot. I'm not even close to it. I'm not a polymath, not even close to it. So, I shouldn't even use those words because I'm nowhere close to even think about being one of those things. But, with that said, after my surgery, they sent me to a physical rehab hospital in Vermont called Mount Ascutney. Fantastic hospital, fantastic staff. I have nothing bad to say. I mean, there were nothing but great people there, and I got great care. I mean, what can you say? Anyway, there's a lady there from Deutschland. Those who don't know what I mean by Deutschland, I mean Germany. She said something to me and I said Danke. Just came out, didn't have to think about it, just popped right out of my freaking head. German is not my native language. My native language is Spanish. German would be, I guess, my second language. Serbo-Croatian I never really spoke. I mean, I understood some because my friend, his parents, they were from Yugoslavia. They spoke Serbo-Croatian, and Frau Brown, she never spoke anything but Serbo-Croatian. So at home, or at least when I was with them, either at their house or our house, or we went out somewhere, with them it was at least in part Serbo-Croatian. But in Deutschland and Germany, what did I learn? Well, actually in Germany we had a lot of friends from Spain, so there was still Spanish in my life. But and you should look at pictures of Spaniards in Spain and Spaniards in Germany at that time. A lot of the Spaniards in Spain just didn't look as healthy as they could have been, and you see them in Germany where they had better work, better jobs, better pay, and they looked healthier, physically healthier. They were still a more, a smaller build, but they were full, they filled out, they were healthy. In Spain, none of us got as much food as we needed. It was a little more to survive than survival amounts of food. We were better off than a lot of people, but, anyway, so when we lived in Virginia, I spoke German. And, or I understood German. I don't know what I was speaking, because when you're introduced to Spanish, German, Serbo-Croatian, English, there's 4 languages by the time I was 3 years old. So, and who knows what other languages I was introduced to. Because we were in Europe, I mean, especially in Germany. Germany is surrounded by Poland and France and Austria and the Low Countries, and so it's very possible that I heard a lot of different languages. I mean, and we drove from Spain to Germany, but we took the long way around. We drove into Andorra, France, Switzerland, Austria, then into Germany. My mom said the best eggs she ever had were in Switzerland. So I have a particular recipe. I don't get to make it very often. I call it Swiss eggs. All it is some chives chopped up, some butter, either sweet or unsalted, doesn't matter to me, and some eggs, and you scramble them, cook them in the you mix the chives in with the eggs when you're beating them. Beat it really good, get a lot of air in there, get them nice and soft and fluffy. Cook them in the butter, and you have some of the best eggs you've ever had. So, but anyway, so, I don't remember this lady's name. I wish I did, but, if I'm going to just come out with words in another language, and it happened to be German. Now, let me also say that Professor Lipstadt, I forget her name. I don't think I have any of her, or actually I might have one of her books right here. Nope, that's not a book by her. Yeah, I don't see any of her books in here. They're in the other room. But anyway, one thing she pointed out in one or more of her books is in the United States, prior to the war, many Americans, once they received their PhD, once they received a bachelor's degree, it didn't seem to matter. And they received your associate's degree. But even people who had gone so far as to earn their masters and PhDs did not consider themselves, according to the author, educated until they went to Germany and studied in Germany. So we have that. Although, again, I'm not, my academics suck. So I'm not pretending to be anything like that. But anyway, I happen to enjoy some German movies. Two of my favorite German language movies. One is Emil Jaguar, and I happen to have the book, which I haven't read. It's a beautiful love story. To me, it's one of the greatest love stories ever. It's interesting. It's a very interesting story because, number one, Amy, she had children. She was married to a Nazi. She had received the Gold Star of Motherhood from the Nazi Party or from the Nazi state. But she fell in love with a woman who was a Jew and a member of the German resistance, who happened to work for a pro-Nazi newspaper. So, interesting. I highly recommend the movie. There are also websites you can go to and find, photographs of both of them, individually and together. Anyway, so in my opinion, Adolf Hitler was probably homosexual, or at the least he was a male prostitute in Vienna at one point. Many of the early Nazi Party meetings were held in gay bars and coffee houses. These are things that are not commonly known, but they should be. Rome, or Room, I don't know how you pronounce his name. He was openly gay, and Hitler and the other Nazis didn't kill him really because he was gay. They killed him because he was a rival, especially to that big fat guy, Goering. He was a rival to Goering, and he was an ideological rival, a socialist. Rome was more Marxist socialist, while Hitler believed in more of a nationalist socialism. It's still socialism. But anyway, so Rome was not really killed because he was gay. Rome was killed because he was a rival to both Hitler and Goering. And of course, Hitler couldn't have that, could he? But anyway, so I have an interest in World War II German history. And it would be nice to be, like, for example, this book is about this book is called Denying History, which deals with those who deny the Holocaust ever happened. This is an updated and expanded edition, and I have several books on the subject because there are people who claim the Holocaust never happened. There are others who will say, well, it did happen, but it wasn't what people say it was, and so forth and so on. Well, let me tell you, it happened. You can deny it all you want, but it happened. We had something that happened in Spain under Franco, not unlike what happened in Germany, although in Spain it was mostly political rivals, not based primarily on one's religion, but based on one's politics. My parents had a book that was not pro-Franco. How they got away with having that book because they prison another German language movies. Annie and Jaguar, Berlin Dead, which is a zombie movie. It's like something like Rambach, Berlin Dead, something like that. The lady that played Amy in Amy Verst in Amy and Jaguar, I've seen her in a movie called Downfall where she played Hitler's mistress, Eva Braun. I would like to see her in a non-war movie. But I think she's a fantastic actress. Only problem is I don't speak German yet, so I don't know what she's saying or anybody else, and I have to read captions. And from my experience, at least with the Spanish language, they don't always caption things properly. I mean, I mean, my Spanish is horrible, but I still know enough that I can see something, and like that's not what the person just said. No, that's similar, but it's not exactly what. So it's irritating. Okay, so I saw an interview with Fidel Castro many years ago, and I'm like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. You know, of course, the U.S. media is trying to make it sound good, make what he was saying sound good when it wasn't necessarily a good thing. But anyway, so I've seen a couple of other German language films. Another one was another zombie movie, which I really didn't like. I think it was Dead Snow or Blood Snow or something like that. And then there was another one, which was, I may have been called The Bunker as well, but it was sort of a zombie kind of movie, but it was modern day, and they found like an old World War II bunker, and I think it turned out it was where they were doing medical experiments. And every time they killed all the whatever they were, there they were again and again and again. The thing is, I'd like to get away from war movies and zombie movies and start watching some really good German language films. They don't have to be artsy fartsy films. Yeah, I'm not really that much into artsy fartsy, although one of my favorite artsy fartsy films is The Cook, the Thief, the Something and Her Lover. Anyway, it's a really good movie. The Cook, the Thief, I don't remember. Anyway, look up The Cook, the Thief, the Blank and Her Lover. Anyway, so I'm going to be learning German. I was just taking a Duolingo. I think it's called Duolingo. Duolingo. And today was lesson number 2. Yesterday was lesson numero 1. I need to say it in German, not in Spanish. Eins. Ein or eins? Ein. I don't know how to say number or lesson yet. But I did get one wrong today. Yesterday I didn't get any wrong. Today I got one wrong. The problem is it's wanting me to translate the German into the English. And I would rather just have German. I'll just listen to the German, see the German. But right now, and I don't have the money to buy a German language training, I have something for Spanish, but I don't have the money to buy a German lesson program. I no longer have. We used to have, books in German and Spanish, German dictionaries, Spanish dictionaries, and we just don't have those anymore. So I'm having to buy a bunch of new stuff. So it may be months before I start what you would consider. Hey Socks, what you doing? This is Socks baby, Socks girl. So it may be a few months before I can afford to get anything like that. So until then, I will be using Duolingo, and I may go and watch some lessons on YouTube. But I'm trying not to go like too deep into it right now. But what you say, Socks? Say my brother was mean to me today. Okay, folks. So that's all I have to say about German. Bye.